These are the people that I've chosen to participate within my speech. "3D printing. When I say these words, most of you probably think of some cheap eBay creation that gets sold for about $5 there and then resold on Amazon for about $20, way too overpriced. Something like this. That is not what I'm here to talk about with you today. 3D printing is a revolutionary technology that revolutionized several industries such as the medical field, aerospace, and manufacturing itself. So, today I'll be here to discuss with you how exactly 3D printing works, what industries it has affected, and some challenges with making it more mainstream. So, how exactly does 3D printing work? 3D printing creates three-dimensional objects by building up layers directly through the use of a digital software. You begin by using a digital file, often through the use of a computer-aided design, or a CAD software, according to built-in. The 3D printer then begins by slicing the object into several layers that can be built upon one by one by one. This is something that they have in common with the 2D inkjet printers, which creates photos by layering separate inks on top of each other. That's why they have the name printer. So, there are several different types of 3D printing that are used, one of them being stereolithography, or SLA, and fused deposition modeling, which are the most common according to 3D Gent's 2023 article. Stereolithography is the first type of 3D printing that was ever invented. It was created in 1981. The way that it works is that it uses UV light to cure resin into solid layers. On the other hand, fused deposition modeling, which is a different type of 3D printing, uses melted plastic that hardens over time to create their layers. Now that you understand how 3D printing works, let us look at the different industries that 3D printing has ended up affecting over its years in use. The addition to 3D printing to various industries has changed the way that production is viewed. In manufacturing, it has spread out several processes and allowed for there to be more customization in different objects. One of these is in the use of creating prototypes for different objects. It allows for quicker production with less materials used, since it can be created directly online. It has also allowed for more customization and more personalized objects to be created because you can just change it within the design software itself. So, within the medical field, the effect that it has had is even greater. I'm sure some of us have all seen those clunky prototypes or prosthetics that people walk around with. The use of 3D printing can allow for prosthetics that are more customized to the person themselves, which allows for more comfort and more ease of use. Another technology is also allowing for the 3D printing of organs using biological materials, according to Medical News, an article created in 2024. Aerospace is also one industry that has been heavily affected by the use of 3D printing, and it has changed the way that they have developed aircraft and planes. Aerospace companies are using 3D printing to produce more lightweight and more complex parts, which helps reduce the weight of spacecrafts and help in reaching space easier. NASA has also worked with several others to create 3D printed parts while on missions in space so that they reduce the need for Earth to space missions, which waste more materials. 3D printing has made a huge impact on various different industries throughout our lives, but there is still very much limitations that are available when it comes to it. Some of the challenges of 3D printing are cost, material limitations, and regulations on designs themselves. Cost is still a very important part when it comes to 3D printing. So, there is small 3D printers that are available for mainstream use that are more affordable and less expensive than they were in the past. However, high-quality 3D printers are still very hard to come by without a very hefty price attached to them. Small businesses may struggle to get the necessary technology available to acquire enough funds to cover the initial cost of buying a 3D printer. While 3D printers are versatile in very many ways, they come with material limitations that are very hard to bypass with the current technology available. The number of materials that are available, such as UV resin and plastics, can be constrictive compared to some building materials such as metal and other parts that come with traditional manufacturing. some of the materials that can be used may not be sustainable or as durable as the alternatives. 3D printing has faced some huge issues with legal concerns and patents. So when it comes to 3D printing, you can just take any design off the internet and use that. That is where the legal concerns, as 3D printing, while flooding the market, also allows for people's patents to flood the market and just be created on their own. This also raises concerns about the ownership and intellectual ownership of a product and how easy it is to currently counterfeit. However, even with these issues in place, 3D printing is still something that has a very huge part in our world and will continue to have a huge part in the world going forward. Today we have learned the basic process behind 3D printing and how different styles work. Several industries, such as manufacturing, aerospace, and medical, have been greatly affected and will continue to use 3D printing going forward in the future. Some of the challenges, such as cost, material limitations, and issues of patents, can be fixed going forward, which is why 3D printing has the potential to change the way we create and view different things.